Sin and Cephalos. While on a fishing expedition with my grandfather, Romoles, he decided to share an old wives' tale about the Cephalos. I always get a good laugh from Papa Rum's stories, so I was eager to hear this one. Gather round, Rich and Coda. It's time I introduce you to the origins of the Cephalos. My grandfather was a great fisherman. Our methods have been passed down for generations. But the sea can become a lonely place. At first, he thought he was seeing things. There was a beautiful woman in the middle of the ocean with no land in sight. This is impossible. He must have been out to sea for too long without companionship. He rubbed his eyes, and the beauty was gone. Trick of the mind, he told himself, and carried on about his day. The next day he thought nothing more of the woman until the sun was high in the sky and he heard a strange tune, almost like humming. He looked around, and there was the beautiful woman again. She was closer this time, and he could swear she was singing to him. Something told him not to go to her. After all, every fisherman knows about sirens, how they lure men to their deaths with promises in their songs. He closed his eyes and shook his head. Not this fisherman, he thought out loud. He noticed the song wasn't in the air when he opened his eyes. The lovely lady was gone. Figment of me imagination. And he went about his day. The next day, around the same time, he heard the tune, even more distinct. He couldn't resist. He had to see if it was her. He peered at a rock protruding through the sea off in the distance. There she was. Only now he could see her full form. He could swear she was a goddess. Nothing else he had ever laid eyes on could compare to the sight of her. She beckoned him to her, and he was her willing slave. He had luckily dropped anchor the hour prior because there was no room for any other thoughts. She completely consumed his mind. It wasn't until the earliest hours of the morning did he finally return to his senses. It was all a blur. He remembered being on the rock, then the ocean, all alone with the beautiful woman for hours, but no memory of what had taken place. Approximately 5 months later, Papa Rum returns to the shore to start preparing for his next fishing expedition. There on the boat was the beauty. She smiles when she's seen him. "Hello, fisherman. I thought it was about time we had a conversation." It wasn't a frenzied dream, he whispered to himself. She released the most melodious laugh. No, nothing of the sort. I wanted to create something new. My seas need guardians. The threat men have posed made my little ruse necessary. Papa Rum swallowed hard. He didn't like how this conversation was going. "And what does that have to do with me?" he asked through dried lips and with a cracked voice. She laughed again, but this time all Papa Rum felt was terror. The beauty snapped her fingers, and many other beautiful women started filing out of the sea onto the shore. He lost count after about 50. He also noticed they all held bundles in their arms. "Congratulations on being the proud parent of a brand new species and the heroes of my seas." The beauty was no longer beautiful in his eyes. She now wore a cruel sneer, and her eyes dulled to lifeless orbs. How did he fall for this? How would he be able to make it right? What would she expect for his role to be? He doesn't earn enough to support all these people. At this time, Papa Rum stopped telling the story and walked to the side of the boat. Kota and I looked at each other and back at him. We arose from our spots and joined him. He was looking at the water and smiled. "Meet your kin," he said. We too looked down, and in the sea below were the Celphos people we had heard stories about. They were rising to meet Papa Rum. He said that through the years, despite his sin with the sea goddess, he continued to meet with his progeny and never felt lonely out to sea again.